Hello, Brett Ellis with the Ellis team at Keller Williams, and welcome to the future of real estate. Today we're going to give you a Southwest Florida real estate update, talk about the market, and tell you why I think now may be all green lights for buyers to buy. So let's dive into the numbers here. This is our supply and demand chart. So one thing you'll notice here is our supply has capped out here and actually started to come down. And one of the reasons is because the demand has picked up. Now that could be a function of we're in season, could be a function of interest rates declining, homeowners insurance are declining a little bit. All that is going to helping home buyers afford more homes, so that's helping. One of the things I like to look at is the gap. The gap is the difference between these two. Sometimes it's not always easy to tell. So when I click on the gap, you'll notice that the gap maxed out here back on February 11th, and it's been coming down since. And again, that's a function of increased demand, and they're eating into the supply, so that's good. If you look at the total pendings, the pendings have been going up every week. Now, we're not quite at the levels we were at last year or the year before or the year before that, but at least we're going up, so that's a good sign. And then this is the Ellis Team Current Market Index. Now remember, the thing about this index, it accurately predicts forward future prices. So when this index is climbing, that tells us prices are going to go down. And look at this point in time, December of 23. What's happened since then? Since we hit a low of about 3 in March of 24, prices have gone down as this has gone up. But watch what happens here after January 7th. That index is coming down. So that doesn't mean necessarily that price is going to go up right away, but it's less pressure on downward prices. And once this gets down to a certain level, that can flip the market and turn to higher prices. We're not saying we're at one of these low points. What we are saying is there's less pressure now on downward prices than there was back then. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's keep going here. And condo market looks very similar. So if I showed you the weekly inventory for the single family homes, and then I showed you the condo, you'd say it's practically the same graph, except the numbers are a little bit different. We have about 5,158. Now I can't say the same thing, it's all green lights to buy a condo right now. We still have pressure in the condo market. But what I am saying is we've got green lights now to buying the single family market. Let's look at sales prices. They are down just a little bit, but they're kind of coming back a little. I like to look at 12-month prices. A year ago, they're at 420, 495. They're at 416, so they're down about 1% maybe. 420 to 416, so that's not bad, and heading a little higher. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now the average price came in at 563, and that had been about 585. So that's a little bit more, but those averages aren't as reliable because one or two big sales can affect that. The listing inventory, we're all-time highs on those listing inventory, but if we start, I track weekly. So if we start knocking this down a little bit, maybe that inventory will come back. It's too soon to tell. Here's the other thing. We're close to the end of March here. Today is March 27th. April 1st, I'm expecting a lot of expireds. The real question is going to be how many sellers say, forget it, I don't like the market, I'm taking my home off the market, I'll live for another day. Or how many are just unhappy with their agent and relist and say, I just need to get out. Now's a good time. So we don't know about that. What we do know is demand has picked up some, not to last year's levels, not the year before. We expect some listings to come off the market, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. If you look at homes closed here, the yellow line, I made that stand out last year. We're coming in a little bit less than 2024 numbers. And look what happened in 24. They were coming down in the second half of last year, and they're down from that. So we think 2025 is probably going to come in a little bit less than 2024 numbers, maybe a little bit more. We'll have to see how the second half of the year goes, see what interest rates do, see if buyers start turning on like they are, and see what sellers decide to do. Let's see what else, if there's anything else we need to take a look at. No, I think we're good. So I think that's it. So the bottom line is Condos, not the best market to buy in right now. Single family homes, I think it's all green light go. Now, what I'm not saying is that prices can't go down some more from here, because there's a lead and lagging indicators. And the other thing is, we don't know how the rest of the year is going to play out. We don't know what the tariffs are going to do. We don't know what the economy is going to do. We just see enough good signs with insurance, with interest rates, with buyer demand, with consumer sentiment, those kinds of things in the single family home market. And here's the other thing. You don't know the market is going up until it does, until it's in your rearview mirror. So we're not so concerned as trying to time this market perfectly, because you never will. You'll only know the bottom hit when it's in your rearview mirror. So if you're 1 or 2 or 3% over the bottom, and then it starts rising, you're right back to where you were. You're fine. It's the people who try to time it. They wait till it goes up 2 or 3%, and then they missed it because they can't get in fast enough, and they don't have the supply of homes. They don't have the negotiating leverage with the sellers, because the sellers now, they know, hey, this market's turned, we're on the upside, and they don't negotiate as well. You've got maximum leverage now that you won't have when the market is in the rearview mirror. So for those reasons, I think buyers really ought to take a good hard look at the single family home inventory here anywhere in Florida, but definitely Southwest Florida. Thanks for tuning in to The Future of Real Estate. You can always reach us, 239-310-6500. Visit our website, leecountyonline.com. Get your free home evaluation at SWFLhomevalues.com. And of course, read our blog each and every week, blog.topagent.com. And thanks for tuning in.
If you're selling or you're buying or moving right away, the Ellis team can help you.